better. So give me a shout if you're interested. I would really love and appreciate your support. Okay. So yeah, I'm coming to an end. As you saw, that's to be honest, a very sophisticated and pervasive way the filtering currently works in China, and my work did investigate some of the technology behind it. I also published a paper on my website devtarget.org, and also various information from my studies. So if you're interested in maybe studying IT security, you can take a look at the stuff over there as well. And but I think, and that's basically what the tour guy yesterday said as well, we need easier methods to give the ordinary user the ability to bypass the filtering, so in order to make it collapse. Okay, so that's it. Thanks a lot, and I'm now ready for answering your questions. Thanks.
Hello. Now, what is the state of IP version 6 in China? Does anybody know about that? Because it is my understanding that IP version 6 mandates the implementation of IPsec, and that would basically solve all these problems in one go.
Well, what I can say is that I know that China tried to, or actually had the idea of developing IPv5 for some reason. And I don't know, to be honest, what the current status is. Maybe the guy living in China can say something. Can you get like cable modem access with IPv6 in China?
They only offer IPv4.
Okay, so the answer was they only offer IPv4. Obviously, IPv6 would incorporate IPsec, and then a lot of this stuff would be way easier, but at the moment there's only IPv4 as far as I know. Okay? More questions? There were questions in the back somewhere?
Okay, if you just give the microphone back to the next guy having a question, or we'll take questions from here with that microphone.
Hi there. I missed the beginning of your talk, but I was just wondering, when I walked in I was a bit surprised because I'd heard almost an identical sort of talk a couple of years ago in Toronto, and I was reminded of the work of Ron Deibert, who's a University of Toronto professor in political science, who's been doing work with the Citizen Lab. And you know, he has multiple graduate students pulling up websites and worldwide research in terms of looking at internet censorship.
Yeah, there's a very nice website from Harvard University as well, and the guys from Toronto, they're also in the OpenNet initiative. So basically, when I finished my work, I saw that already people were working on this, so I sent them my paper as well, and it's with the OpenNet initiative at the moment. Yes. So yeah.
Okay, because it's very similar research that they've been doing for a number of years.
Well, I apologize. I didn't copy anything. So to be honest, I was unaware that there was already a similar presentation. Okay. Here's a question in the front. There's.
As I know, most users in China are using the internet by cell phone. Do you see any way to circumvent the Great Firewall for users who are using the cell phone for accessing the internet?
That's a very hard question because I didn't try it. But as I'm working at T-Mobile, and you could just use any IP technology you want to use. So even over GPRS, you can just use SSH, for instance. So maybe if you have a cell phone in China, you can maybe tell us more about this. But I assume if there's no modification being done with the actual GPRS implementation or usage in China, then you can just use normal TCP/IP tools, because by the end of the day, this thing speaks IP as well. So, for instance, over the German GPS, I use SSH very often.
Those CDMA cards are very popular and very cheap, and everybody uses them, so nobody uses GPRS, and
okay.
I did not see any big difference between access from the DSL at home or using the CDMA card.
I would say, I haven't tested it, but I would say it's the same, to be honest.
Yeah, but what's definitely not the same is if you are a foreigner from a foreign country and then you try to buy something in China, they totally handle you different.
Okay, so maybe next year you can do something from inside, the inside report from China, maybe.
Yeah, let's do it together.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Want a shell account?
Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Okay, so are there any more questions? There's a question in the back, two questions in the back.
Hello, I was very interested to hear about the RST packets that are coming in that
Yes.
are being injected from the network, and
Yes.
any of the techniques that we've been seeing are essentially vulnerable to getting reset from the middle. I wonder, did you do any further analysis of the reset packets coming in, looking where they were coming from, what timing they had, what their hop count was, this kind of thing, the TTL? Would you care to comment on that, please?
Yes. To answer your question in a short word, no, because Richard Clayton from the University of Cambridge, as I mentioned before, he wrote a full paper on this, and the information you're looking for is mostly in his paper as well. He didn't look into the TTL stuff so much, but there's a lot of information in his paper already, which I didn't want to do again. So if you go to Google and search for what's it called? I think defeating the Great Firewall of China or something along those lines, then you will get his paper and it's all in there. Okay? More questions? There was one question somewhere. Yes.
I don't share the certainty that widespread use of IPsec would solve that, because what they can do is just require that IPv6 implementations used in China accept a man-in-the-middle attack from the ISP, or they just don't get any internet. It won't be a silver bullet.
Yeah, that's very true. For instance, something which I'm a bit unsure about is also the use of encryption. What about SSL keys, for instance? Will they actually terminate SSL connections as well if they have the keys? Maybe as an operator of some system, you need to give them the keys. I'm not quite sure whether this happens or whether this is done. But for IPv6, for IPsec, the problem is the same, of course. Yeah, there's still a man in the middle, and so I am not. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm not sure whether this will be the silver bullet, but it will be one more way to try.
There's the question here in the back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
What do you know about IPv9? According to Heise Online, that's a new addressing technique for the Chinese network.
Oh, was it 9? Okay, I thought it was 5.
It's a bit like telephone numbers.
Okay.
And they are developing it.
To be honest, I don't know anything about it. I thought it was called IPv5. Those crazy Chinese, I don't know.
IPv9, according to Heise.
Okay. No, I don't know anything about this. I have to deny. Sorry. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, just one. There is a lot of work about how we can understand how filter work and so on. But do you have any idea if there is a centralized database about government capacity? I mean, who are working with those governments? Which are the companies who are selling the material? Who are the consultants who are hired by the government, like in China? Because I mean, there is more than 30,000 persons working in China, but. Yes. I mean, there is Cisco, there is an Occidental company selling technology. There is any centralized information about who is selling what and which can help you maybe to work?
I tried to figure out this information because obviously I wanted to know what I'm up against, but I was unable to find any information. I really contacted some companies and they said, look, we don't comment on our business and that's it. So I know it from Force 10 because I talked to Force 10 people, and if you read the papers and if you read other articles, it always says, well, it uses Juniper and Cisco. But you will probably not get a list of all the companies involved. Yeah. I tried to do this really hard because I wanted to know, but it's the same with the filtering techniques. They don't give you information how it works. You can try to experiment with it, but you cannot figure out how it really works. Yeah. I think there was one more question over there. And there's another question here. Okay.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
My question is, what information is there about the infrastructure of China? Is there distributed filtering with the providers helping, or is the central gateway of the government?
Yeah, what I found out is that it's, at least on the experiments I did, it's done on the central infrastructure of China Telecom, which is something like Deutsche Telekom here, or France Telecom, for instance. So it's done at the backbone providers. Yeah, and also on the incoming points of the Chinese network. So as soon as you enter China, basically, and go out, obviously. There's one more question, yeah.
Yeah, when you've done your test, have you been disconnected from the network completely disconnected from all the rest, because I heard about the Freenet project that the Chinese government harvests all the nodes they're running the network and try to block them. What do you know about the social engineering that Chinese government is doing? Because Freenet is now using darknet. Is it a good way, or is it the government filtering, harvesting all the network to find people who is trying to hack the network and stopping them directly?
Yes. As I said before, I had the problem that my server was often unavailable. And it may be coincident, but it was always the case when I did some action. So let's say I did the 50 domain resolves in a row on the Chinese server. Let's say half an hour later the server was blocked. So these kind of things. But I'm not quite sure. Maybe the provider did give my address or my purpose to the society, to these authorities. I don't know. I think for some reason when I registered the server, I mixed up my old German address with my new one. I don't know. Maybe I can't go into China anymore. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Okay, so maybe there was one more question, and then we should all go.
Yeah, I would like to know. You talked about this real-time keyword filtering.
Yes.
Is it done by the content too?
Yes. I saw it for HTTP. You can actually, the filtering is done only on the name of the file you're requesting, but also on the content.
So when your test.html is the content like free Tibet, it would be blocked too?
Yes. That's what I saw at least.
Yeah.
Comment, question, anyone?
Maybe I misunderstood something, but you told it probably won't be easy to say to CNN.com to not drop reset
to drop reset packets, yes.
Yes, but you also said your proxy would also drop reset packages, but I think it would be easy to tell your proxy not to acknowledge reset packages.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And wouldn't that be
what
a solution?
I said when I used the proxy with an unencrypted connection between Germany and China, then the Chinese, because they were observing the connections, were then sending reset packets to both ends of the connection. And as I said correctly, yes, that's the way. If you make your proxy ignore reset packets, then that's one way to go. The problem is still that the adversary, i.e. the Chinese government, can still see all your connection because it's unencrypted. But you're right, it works. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, yeah. Okay, one more question, comment.
I think you have nothing to fear to come to China. Actually, I don't think that the government will care about some foreigner just trying to check out their methods. And you can also imagine what kind of avalanche you will release if they just set some foreigner into prison. I mean, they are much more perceptive about their own people, but if you come there as a foreigner, it's totally different. And Chinese law even deals different with if somebody hits a foreigner, then somebody hits the Chinese person.
Well, the thing is, I'm working at Deutsche Telekom or T-Mobile. I have a lot of holidays, so maybe I'll spend my next holidays in China.
Yeah, actually. Actually, I do have a guest room.
Oh, perfect.
You're invited.
Thanks. Well, thanks everyone for watching and questioning me and so on. If you have questions, always going to be around, so you can always ask me and we can drink a beer or something. Okay. Bye-bye.